Welcome back to today's video where we unlock the fascinating world of rare United Kingdom 1/2 new penny coins, a category of British numismatics that is increasingly drawing intense interest from global collectors and investors alike. While many people today overlook these humble fractional coins, the smart collector knows that specific issues, dates, and conditions can generate exceptional demand and remarkable auction results. In this presentation, we explore the top 7 most valuable 1/2 new penny coins, diving deep into their background, unique features that make each one desirable, why collectors clamor for pristine examples, and how much these treasures can fetch today on the international market, all expressed in dollar value to make comparison clear. So let's get started. First up, we're diving into a fascinating piece of British numismatics, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1978, a coin that sits at the intersection of British monetary history and collector interest. This coin, struck during the decimalization era of British currency, carries a story that collectors globally find compelling. In very fine condition, this humble halfpenny has become a noteworthy item among decimal coin enthusiasts, attracting attention for both its historical significance and its appealing presence in auction markets. To fully appreciate the 1978 1/2 new penny, we must understand where it fits in British monetary evolution. In 1971, the United Kingdom transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, pence system to a decimal currency system. As part of that transition, new denominations were introduced, including the halfpenny, which represented half of a new penny. This coin remained in circulation for over a decade until it was withdrawn and demonetized in 1984, marking the end of its role as legal tender. The 1978 issue is part of that important era, representing not only everyday British transactions of its time but also a historic phase of currency reform that shaped modern British coinage. The 1978 1/2 new penny is a small but striking coin physically and visually. It is bronze, with a diameter of approximately 17.14 millimeters and a weight of about 1.78 grams, proportions that made it easy to handle in everyday use. On the obverse, the coin proudly displays the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Mackin, showing her youthful profile and elegant detail that reflects the artistry of the period. On the reverse, the coin bears the words, 1/2 new penny, beneath a representation of St. Edward's crown, symbolizing the authority and continuity of the British crown. The plain edge and classic design give it an understated charm that collectors deeply appreciate. Although the 1978 1/2 new penny was produced in mintage, figures reported at roughly 59.5 million coins, which makes it common in general terms, the marketplace values pieces that have survived decades in very fine or better conditions significantly more than heavily circulated examples. Because this denomination was used frequently in daily transactions until its withdrawal in 1984, many surviving specimens show considerable wear. A 1978 halfpenny in very fine condition, showing clear detail on both Queen Elizabeth's portrait and the crown on the reverse, stands out for collectors who seek quality pieces from this era. Surviving coins in high grades or preserved states become focal points in collections of British decimal coins, particularly for those building comprehensive runs of decimal issues from the 1970s and early 1980s. In today's auction and collector markets, values of 1978 half new pennies vary based on condition. Most circulated examples sell for modest amounts, $675,000. However, when we look at examples in very fine condition, auction listings and dealer prices reflect a clear premium because collectors value both aesthetic appeal and preservation. Listings on online marketplaces show prices that often exceed typical face value expectations, with very fine or better coins often priced above basic circulated specimens. While exact realized prices can fluctuate, many listings for higher grade 1978 halfpennies approach levels that demonstrate strong collector interest, and some sellers offer coins with attractive preservation at collector-focused prices in dollars. If you're considering adding a 1978 1/2 new penny to your collection, there are a few key points to keep in mind. First, focus on condition. Coins with crisp details on the crown and Queen's portrait are far more desirable than heavily worn pieces. Second, always verify authenticity and avoid cleaning or polishing that can degrade surface quality. Collectors often prefer natural patina. Third, embrace reputable grading services if you intend to sell or trade, as certified coins tend to fetch stronger prices. Connecting with specialized British coin forums and experienced dealers can also provide insights into spotting attractive specimens and understanding price trends. Collecting this coin in concert with other decimal issues from the same period further enhances its contextual value within a broader historical collection. The United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1978 in very fine condition is more than a piece of metal. It's a snapshot of British economic history, a testament to the decimalisation era, and a collector favourite for those who appreciate the subtleties of condition and design. While the rarest of British coins in terms of mintage, its story and the demand for well-preserved examples make it a rewarding pursuit for numismatists. Whether you're new to coin collecting or expanding a seasoned collection, this 1978 halfpenny is a piece worth celebrating and holding in high regard for its heritage, craftsmanship, and appeal in the modern market. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1974. This small coin may look humble, especially when found in dirty or heavily worn condition, but it carries rich historical relevance and is sought after in global collector markets. Even if you stumble across one in circulated condition, there's more to this coin than meets the eye, and we're going to explore every compelling reason why people treasure it today. The 1/2 new penny was part of Britain's transition to decimal currency beginning in 1971, a modernization of the long-standing pre-decimal currency system. Decimalisation was one of the most significant currency reforms in UK history, simplifying the monetary system and making everyday transactions easier for citizens and businesses alike. The 1/2 new penny was minted as a bronze coin and remained in circulation until the halfpenny denomination was discontinued and demonetized in 1984. During its circulation life, it served as the smallest fractional denomination in British coinage, reflecting an important period of economic adjustment in Britain's monetary history. What makes the 1974 1/2 new penny distinctive are both its physical characteristics and the design elements chosen by the Royal Mint. The coin is relatively small, about 17.14 millimeters in diameter and weighing approximately 1.78 grams, struck in bronze, giving it a classic British coin look and feel. On the obverse side, you'll see the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, the second portrait created by Arnold Machin, wearing the famed Girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara. This portrait is a hallmark of British coins from the decimalisation era. On the reverse, enclosed by a beaded circle, is the iconic St. Edward's crown above the denomination. 1/2 new penny, set within a composition that reflects Britain's deep heritage of regal symbolism and numismatic tradition. These design choices connect the coin to both the era and the broader legacy of British coinage. Although the 1974 1/2 new penny isn't extremely rare in terms of original mintage, over 365 million were produced at the Lantricent Mint, collectors still value certain examples highly. For instance, proof strikes or exceptionally well-preserved pieces command more interest because they represent quality that's increasingly uncommon given that most surviving specimens are well-circulated and show wear. Even in dirty condition, the coin tells a story of decades of real-world use, which can be attractive to collectors who appreciate coins for their historical journey as well as their original mint characteristics. Years with lower surviving populations or special mint sets stand out to numismatists who specialize in British decimal coins. It is this combination of historical significance, design detail, and collector interest that sustains demand for this piece. Turning to the current auction and marketplace data, values for a 1974 1/2 new penny vary depending on condition and collector interest. For typical circulated examples, recent price guides show values starting around $185,000, with slightly higher prices when the coin is more complete and cleaner. However, in uncirculated conditions or in certified proof versions, the value can rise noticeably above these levels. Some Numista user-reported evidence suggests that high-grade or special versions can approach values in the $428,000 range, particularly for coins in superb preservation or proof strikes that were originally issued in limited sets. These values reflect consistent worldwide interest among collectors who track British decimal coinage. For anyone collecting this coin today, the key to unlocking further value lies in condition assessment and authentication. Coins that have been professionally graded by reputable numismatic services often command premiums because buyers can trust their assessed quality and authenticity. Storing examples in protective holders, avoiding cleaning or abrasive treatment that can damage patina and surface detail, and comparing specimens against known grading standards will help both preserve and potentially increase the value of your coin. While a dirty coin may seem unremarkable at first glance, careful cleaning for inspection, not resale, and professional evaluation can reveal features that make it far more appealing to collectors. The United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1974 remains a noteworthy and collectible piece of British decimal history. Its elegant design, connection to a pivotal monetary reform, and ongoing demand among global collectors make it a standout inclusion in any coin collection. Whether you hold one in worn condition or in crisp, uncirculated state, this small coin embodies a significant era and continues to attract interest from numismatists around the world. Exploring its history and market presence further can be both rewarding and educational. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1976, a coin that has grown steadily in interest among collectors around the world. Today we're going to dive deep into the fascinating story of this bronze beauty, explore what makes it special, examine its key features, discuss why collectors are increasingly drawn to it, and talk about its current value in the auction market in terms of US dollars. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer looking for an interesting addition to your collection, stick around because this coin has more depth than you might expect. The significance of the 1976 1/2 new penny. We need to go back to the early 1970s when the United Kingdom underwent one of its most significant monetary reforms: decimalisation. Prior to 1971, the British monetary system was based on pounds, shillings, and pence in a non-decimal structure, which complicated everyday transactions. In February 1971, the UK introduced the decimal system, and with it came new coins including the 1/2 new penny. The 1976 issue carries with it the legacy of that transition period, symbolizing a new era in British currency and everyday life. While this denomination ceased to circulate after decimal changeover became fully embraced and the coin was later demonetized in 1984, the 1976 1/2 new penny remains a tangible piece of British monetary history that connects collectors with the story of an entire nation's shift into modern currency systems. Visually and physically, the 1976 1/2 new penny is a delight for collectors who appreciate classic coin design and meticulous minting. The obverse of the coin proudly displays the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, depicted with grace and dignity in the second portrait created by Arnold Machin, framed by the Latin inscription that speaks to her authority and role in the realm. On the reverse, you will find the distinguished St. Edward's crown encircled by the denomination 1/2 new penny, instantly recognizable and steeped in iconic British symbolism. The coin was struck in bronze, weighing approximately 1.78 grams with a diameter of 17.14 millimeters, and features a smooth edge that complements the simple, elegant aesthetics that characterized ordinary British currency of the time. Every aspect of the coin's physical attributes speaks to the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint, making it a joy for viewers and collectors alike to examine up close. What makes the 1976 1/2 new penny particularly compelling for collectors today is its condition and survival rate. Although the original mintage was in the hundreds of millions, which might imply commonality, well-preserved examples, especially those in fine condition or higher grades, have a desirability that extends beyond simple numbers. Collectors prize coins that show minimal wear, sharp detail on Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, and clear, unblemished surfaces. These characteristics significantly elevate the appeal of a 1976 1/2 new penny beyond its humble everyday use in the 1970s and early 80s. Its circulation life ended decades ago, yet the fact that so many have come down to us in good condition is a testament to the care collectors take in preserving this modest but historic piece. Despite its initially high mintage, the modern collector market treats the 1976 1/2 new penny as a coin worth seeking out, particularly in circulated conditions that still retain attractive detail and patina. Current indications from online auction and collector platforms show that typical examples in decent condition can command prices that are appreciably higher than their face value $146,000, and rare high-grade pieces or those presented as part of curated collections can see further uplift. Reported listings have ranged from modest premiums to more optimistic figures, underscoring that demand is real and active among enthusiasts who appreciate the coin's historical context and survivability. While it's important to recognize that values can vary widely based on condition and market trends, strong specimens of the 1976 1/2 new penny continue to attract bitter interest and positive momentum in the numismatic marketplace. For collectors looking to add a UK 1/2 new penny 1976 to their collection, there are a few tips that will help you make a smart acquisition. Focus on the coin's condition first and foremost. Look for examples with crisp detail, minimal surface wear, and no significant scratches or damage. If possible, obtaining professionally graded coins can give you confidence in the coin's quality and help you track its value over time. It's also beneficial to compare multiple sources and listings to understand the range of prices that similar coins are fetching on the market. This will help you make informed offers and recognize when a coin is fairly priced. Joining numismatic communities and watching current auctions or sales can also provide deeper insights into what makes certain specimens more desirable than others. Finally, take pride in the history this coin represents. It's not just currency, but a physical piece of British heritage. The United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1976 is more than just a small bronze coin. It's a testament to a pivotal moment in British monetary history and a beloved item in many collections worldwide. Its classic design featuring Queen Elizabeth II and St. Edward's crown, combined with the story of decimalization, gives it a depth that resonates with collectors old and new. While values can vary depending on condition and collector interest, this coin continues to attract attention and demand in the numismatic market. Whether you're drawn by its historical significance, aesthetic charm, or potential market value, the 1976 1/2 new penny stands as a coin worth celebrating and pursuing for any serious collector. Next up, the story of the 1971 United Kingdom 1/2 new penny begins at one of the most significant turning points in British monetary history. In 1971, the United Kingdom underwent decimalization, replacing the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence with a simpler system based on 100 pence to the pound. The 1/2 new penny, sometimes written as a halfpenny, was one of the very first coins struck for use in this modernized currency. It was issued by the Royal Mint in that historic debut year, and immediately became part of everyday British life, carried in pockets and purses across the nation. Its introduction marked a departure from the centuries-old pre-decimal coinage and symbolized a modern era in British numismatics, making it a coin that today's collectors view with admiration for its role in currency evolution. From a historical perspective, the 1971 1/2 new penny represents more than face value. It arrived alongside the new penny and other decimal denominations, all designed to make transactions easier and align the UK with international monetary systems. The obverse of the coin bears the youthful effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, the second portrait, created by Arnold Mackin, which captures a moment in time during her long reign. On the reverse is the regal St. Edward's crown, a classic British symbol of authority and tradition. The entire coin was struck in bronze, giving it a warm, authentic look and feel, and was modest in size at just over 17 millimeters across. For collectors, these design features reflect artistry, heritage, and the pride of a nation transitioning into a new economic chapter. What makes the 1971 1/2 new penny particularly fascinating are all of its distinct numismatic features. As one of the first decimal coins ever released, it carries the inscription, New Penny, a designation used only in the earliest years of decimal coinage. This makes the 1971 issue especially interesting compared to later designs that drop the new terminology. The combination of the crown bust of the monarch and the ornate crown motif on the reverse sets it apart from both older pre-decimal coins and later decimal coins. For enthusiasts, this juxtaposition of modernization and tradition makes the 1971 halfpenny an attractive addition to any collection. In terms of rarity and collector demand, the 1971 halfpenny occupies a unique niche. Millions were minted in its inaugural year. More than 1 billion pieces entered circulation, meaning that in everyday terms it was a common coin of its time. However, for serious collectors who specialize in decimalization-era coins, the 1971 halfpenny holds considerable appeal precisely because it marks the beginning of a new chapter in British coinage. A circulated example with pleasing toning and clear details can be highly desired by those completing sets of decimal coins, and all early decimal coins are increasingly appreciated as tangible pieces of monetary history. In excellent, well-preserved condition showing minimal wear and attractive bronze color, the demand among seasoned collectors can push examples of this coin upward in the marketplace relative to their common face value. Turning to current market value in dollars, it's important to recognize that pricing for circulated examples of this coin varies according to condition and collector demand. Typical circulated 1971 halfpennies often trade above their original legal value simply because they can no longer be spent as currency. In standard worn condition, they may attract modest interest on auction sites, and prices in recent secondary sales have been noticed ranging from $318,000 up toward higher single-digit figures when the surfaces are appealing and details are strong. Better preserved coins, those with clear definition, attractive color, and minimal contact marks, can command the attention of decimal collectors and sometimes bring premium prices compared to everyday circulated pieces. High-grade specimens that show exceptionally little wear or unusual surface quality can be especially sought after in specialist auctions or private sales, where collectors are prepared to pay a premium for the best-looking examples. For collectors pursuing this coin, There are a few essential tips that can strengthen your appreciation and help you build value over time. First, always assess the condition carefully. A well-preserved coin with vibrant bronze surfaces and legible lettering will generally draw more interest than one with heavy wear. Second, understand grading standards and consider having standout examples professionally graded by a respected service. A recognized grade can significantly elevate buyer confidence and perceived value. Third, place your coin's story in context. Coins from 1971 are pivotal pieces of the decimalization set, and collectors building complete runs of coins from this historic year will naturally seek out the best one-half new penny they can find. Finally, stay informed about market trends by watching completed auctions and dealer listings, as numismatic demand can evolve annually. The United Kingdom 1971 one-half new penny stands as a highly desirable piece for those passionate about British decimal coins. Its rich historical significance, distinctive design features, and role as one of the very first coins minted for the modern currency system give it a special place in collections worldwide. While circulated examples are more accessible than extremely rare issues, the demand for well-preserved pieces continues to grow among dedicated collectors who value both the story and the aesthetic of this iconic coin. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer building your first set, the 1971 halfpenny remains a coin worth seeking out, enjoying, and celebrating, and in today's market, the right example can attract strong interest and meaningful value in dollars. Next up, the United Kingdom one-half new penny from 1979, especially when you find it in that intriguing rusty, aged condition that sparks curiosity in every collector's eye. In today's video, we'll explore why this modest bronze coin has captured the attention of the global numismatic community, how its history and design contribute to its appeal, what makes it uniquely desirable even in worn condition, and what kind of market value you might expect in dollars if you're fortunate enough to own one. Whether you're a seasoned collector or new to the hobby, by the end you'll see why this humble piece of British currency generates buzz and demand in auctions and online marketplaces alike. To understand the appeal of the 1979 one-half new penny, we must go back to a pivotal period in British currency history. The United Kingdom's transition to decimal currency in 1971 marked a major shift from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a simpler base 10 structure. As part of this change, the halfpenny coin was introduced as a decimal denomination worth half of one new penny, or 0.005 pounds in sterling terms. It was designed under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her effigy on the obverse and St. Edward's crown on the reverse, a design symbolic of the monarchy and the nation's heritage. The coin was minted at the Royal Mint's Llantrisant facility in Wales and remained in circulation until the mid-1980s, when it was withdrawn and demonetized due to changing economic conditions. What makes the 1979 one-half new penny stand out visually and physically begins with its core specifications. Struck in bronze, the coin weighs approximately 1.78 grams and measures about 17.14 millimeters in diameter, with a smooth edge and classic round shape that fits perfectly in the palm of your hand. The obverse showcases the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, radiating regal dignity and connecting the coin to a specific era of British history. On the reverse, the inscription, New Penny, arches above the detailed depiction of St. Edward's crown, while the numeral one-half rests clearly below, a visual balance that numismatists appreciate for both aesthetics and heritage. Even when this coin develops a rusty patina over time, that aged texture can enhance its character, telling the story of decades past since it last changed hands in everyday commerce. When discussing rarity and collector demand, it is important to consider both mintage and survival rates. The 1979 one-half new penny was issued in substantial numbers. Over 219 million coins were minted that year alone. But many of those coins have been lost, damaged, or melted down since the halfpenny was removed from circulation in 1984. The coins that remain today often show interesting wear, oxidation, or rusty patinas that paradoxically increase their desirability among collectors who prize authentic circulated pieces with history. And while not every example is rare in a strict sense, certain conditions, including well-defined portraits and legible inscriptions despite surface aging, are sought after by collectors who specialize in classic British decimal coins. In terms of current market value, prices can vary widely based on condition and collector interest. Listings on major marketplaces show that standard examples of the 1979 halfpenny often trade for modest sums, reflecting general demand. Values in online auctions tend to range from $235,000 up to higher figures for notably well-preserved pieces. According to numismatic catalogs, A circulated 1979 1/2 new penny might have indicative values in the lower dollar range, while particularly desirable specimens or those with striking surfaces can command premiums. For example, user-reported price guides suggest small dollar values for common grades and slightly higher amounts for coins with distinct appeal, especially in collectors' sales. If you're a collector looking to add a 1979 1/2 new penny to your collection, especially one with a compelling rusty patina, there are a few tips that can help you maximize both enjoyment and potential value. First, always handle coins by the edges to preserve remaining detail and avoid further wear. Second, avoid aggressive cleaning. Even mildly rusty coins are generally more attractive and valuable in their original state than after harsh polishing, which can strip away vital surface characteristics. Third, do your research on auction results and recent marketplace sales to benchmark what similar coins are achieving in dollars, adjusting your expectations for the specific condition you have. Engaging with numismatic communities and certification services can also provide insight and authentication that help build confidence when buying or selling. The United Kingdom 1979 1/2 new penny is more than just a small piece of bronze from the decimalization era. It is a tangible fragment of British monetary history, a charming artifact that connects the past to today's vibrant hobby of coin collecting. Whether you're drawn by its classic design, its historic roots and decimal day reforms, or the unique visual appeal that a well-worn, rusty specimen can bring to a collection, this coin holds a place of respect in numismatic circles. With consistent demand from collectors around the world and varied market interest that continues to evolve, the 1979 halfpenny remains a piece worth exploring for anyone passionate about coins and the stories they tell. Next up, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny from 1973. If you are a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply love uncovering hidden treasures in everyday change, this coin deserves your attention. Although it started life as everyday currency in Britain, today this 1973 halfpenny is treasured by collectors around the world thanks to its connection to the era of decimalization and its inherent historic charm. We will explore the compelling story, design features, rarity, current market valuations in dollars, and essential tips for collectors who want this piece in their portfolio. The 1973 United Kingdom 1/2 new penny was struck during a pivotal period in British monetary history. In 1971, the United Kingdom transitioned from the old pound shillings pence system to a decimalized system where 100 new pence equaled £1. This coin was among the early denominations introduced after that change, representing half of one new penny. It was minted at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, and bears the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait graced every UK coin of the era and symbolized stability and continuity. The introduction of the new penny denomination was a bold step in modernizing the British currency system, and the 1/2 new penny played its part as a widely circulated unit of monetary exchange across the UK. This coin may be small in size, but it is rich in character and design. Made of bronze, the 1973 1/2 new penny weighs approximately 1.78 grams with a diameter of about 17.14 millimeters, and features a smooth edge that was typical of the denomination. The obverse side shows a classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Arnold Machin, a design that collectors appreciate for its detail and period significance. On the reverse, the coin traditionally depicts the imperial crown, a beautifully rendered British emblem that evokes centuries of tradition. The combination of its attractive design, historic context during decimalization, and the fact that it is no longer legal tender in the UK after being demonetized in 1984 makes this coin a cherished collectible rather than mere pocket change. While the 1973 1/2 new penny was minted in relatively large numbers, an estimated 365.68 million coins, its true appeal today comes from the variations in condition that surviving examples exhibit. Circulated coins carry the patina and wear that reflect real usage over decades, and many collectors prize well-worn pieces for their story and authenticity. Even in circulated condition, pieces with clearer details, minimal corrosion, and attractive surfaces tend to draw stronger interest from numismatists. Serious collectors often seek out coins that show distinct character and preservation relative to age, because these examples tell a more compelling narrative of their journey from everyday currency to collectible item. Turning now to the current market value, the 1973 1/2 new penny has shown a healthy presence in the secondary market. On platforms like eBay, circulated examples are frequently traded, indicating sustained demand. Typical sale listings for circulated 1973 half-pence coins show prices around $186,000 or more depending on eye appeal, surface quality, and market interest at the time of sale. More specialized numismatic catalogs also reflect that collectors will pay a premium for coins with especially attractive surfaces or higher grades compared with heavily worn examples, especially if the coin has been well preserved over the years. This demonstrates that even coins once thought of as everyday pocket change now steadily command real dollar values among dedicated collectors. If you are considering adding the 1973 1/2 new penny to your collection, there are several tips that can help you make a smart acquisition. First, always examine the coin closely for surface quality, such as strike detail on the Queen's portrait and clarity of the crown design on the reverse. Coins with minimal scratching or discoloration will typically outperform heavily worn examples in both aesthetic and market appeal. It is also worthwhile to compare recent sale results on auction and coin selling platforms, as prices can vary over time with collector demand. Finally, storing your coin in a protective holder to prevent further wear will help maintain its value and ensure this historical piece remains a highlight of your collection for years to come. The 1973 United Kingdom 1/2 new penny is much more than a small bronze disc with a fractional denomination. It is a vibrant piece of British history that captures the story of decimalization and the evolution of modern currency. Even today, these coins are sought after by collectors for their classic design, historic significance, and the subtle market demand that gives them dollar value on the numismatic market. Whether you are just starting your collection or deepening an existing one, the 1973 1/2 new penny is an excellent example of how everyday coins can become treasured collectibles. Next up, the United Kingdom half new penny from 1975. This small, bronze coin carries big stories and continues to capture the interest of collectors around the world. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned veteran on the lookout for gems to add to your portfolio, this 1/2 new penny is a classic example of how even modest coins can hold significant historical and collectible appeal. Join us as we explore the journey of this coin, its unique characteristics, why collectors still seek it out, and what it could mean for your collection and market value in US dollars today. The story of the 1/2 new penny begins in the early 1970s when the United Kingdom fully transitioned to a decimal currency system. Introduced as part of this landmark change, the 1/2 new penny was minted from 1971 through 1981 and served as the smallest denomination in everyday British currency. The 1975 edition was produced by the Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales, during a period of decimalization that fundamentally reshaped British money and commerce. This coin stood in circulation until the mid-1980s, when the 1/2 penny denomination was gradually phased out and ultimately demonetized in 1984. This means that today, examples of the 1975 half new penny are cherished not as legal tender but as tangible reminders of a pivotal era in British monetary history. What makes the 1975 half new penny instantly recognizable and enduring in appeal are its finely crafted physical and artistic details. Minted in bronze, this petite round coin weighs approximately 1.78 grams with a diameter of 17.14 millimeters, and it carries a smooth-edged compact but rich in design. On the obverse side is the young bust of Queen Elizabeth II, a portrait that reflects the era of her long and celebrated reign. The reverse features St. Edward's crown, an iconic symbol of British tradition. These designs were the work of respected engravers and became standard during the decimalization period. Though small in size, the 1975 halfpenny embodies a blend of craftsmanship, historical context, and visual appeal that truly resonates with collectors. Collectors today prize the 1975 half new penny for several reasons. First, although the mintage was nearly 198 million coins, making it broadly available at the time, the fact that the denomination was discontinued decades ago boosts its modern collectible interest. Because these coins haven't been used in transactions for many years and are no longer legal tender, finding survivors in solid condition, especially uncirculated or fine condition specimens, is increasingly desirable. A 1975 half new penny in well-preserved condition catches the eye of collectors filling UK decimal sets or world coin albums. Even a circulated example with good detail and minimal wear stands out more than you might expect, due to its age and connection to the decimal transition. Now, let's talk about the market value. In today's collector markets, especially online auctions and dealer listings, a typical circulated 1975 half new penny might sell for around $325,000, depending on condition and demand. Standard circulated coins generally trade in the modest range, while pieces in finer grades command slightly higher prices, often reflecting increased interest from collectors who prioritize quality. Very high-grade examples, or those that have never been in circulation, can attract even stronger bids, particularly when featured in lots of British decimal coins or as part of themed collections. This potential to exceed face value and become part of an actively traded collectible category makes this coin appealing to both new and experienced collectors. For those interested in collecting this iconic piece, there are several tips that can help you maximize value and enjoyment. First, always examine a coin's condition closely. Sharp details, minimal surface wear, and clear inscriptions are key factors that elevate desirability. Next, seek out certified examples when possible, as professional grading can provide assurance of condition and often unlocks higher sale prices among serious collectors. Additionally, be mindful of market trends. Holding on to quality coins can pay off as demand shifts, especially for complete decimal sets featuring each year's half-new penny. Lastly, engage with coin collecting communities, online auctions, and reputable dealers to stay informed about recent sale prices and collector interest. This proactive approach will both enhance your understanding of this coin's place in the market and strengthen your overall collection. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1/2 new penny 1975 may be small in size, but it offers a rich narrative and enduring appeal for collectors today. From its roots in the historic decimalization of British currency to its detailed design and ongoing collectible demand, this coin embodies both heritage and potential value. Whether you are just starting your collection or aiming to refine it with classic decimal coins, the 1975 half-new penny deserves attention. With a thoughtful eye for condition and an eye on market interest, you can confidently include this charming British coin in your collection, celebrating a piece of monetary history that continues to earn interest and appreciation around the world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own coin collecting discoveries in the comments below.